Want help to grow your business? Download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.
Hi, I'm Dale Beaumont and welcome to Secrets Exposed. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to use awards as a marketing tool to build your profile and grow your business. That coming up in just a moment. So welcome to today's episode, which is all about how to use awards as a marketing tool to build your brand and grow your business. And today I'm talking with Yvette Adams, who's a serial entrepreneur. She's a marketing expert and she's the creator of a company called The Creative Collective. And she works with helping businesses to build their profile and or grow. And one of her key strategies is helping businesses to enter and succeed with awards. So we're going to learn all about this strategy. We're going to chat for around about 40 to 45 minutes or so. That'll give us time to really go deep into this subject and give you a real roadmap about how you can use it successfully in your business. Yvette, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, entering awards, it's not an obvious marketing strategy that people would think about, yet it is one, and you've used it very successfully to both build your profile, but also to actually generate income for your businesses as well, and you've done it for lots of other clients. Tell me about why this is a legitimate way to market your business.
Well, I first looked at business awards when I was starting out one of my businesses. So as you said, I am a serial entrepreneur. I've started 6 businesses. I've sold 2 and actually run 3 now. And I did first start running the Creative Collective, which is a creative agency that you mentioned. And under that, we used to run the awards, but now we actually have another company called awardshub.com, which sort of focuses on that because that area of the business just grew so big. But when I was starting the Creative Collective, I had come from the UK. I had a young baby at home. The business was fledgling and I had no marketing budget. So I'm thinking to myself, how can I get the message of my business out there without spending any money? And I looked at business awards as a way to also connect with people because I didn't know anyone to do business with, clients, strategic partners, distributors, whatever. And so within my first 6 months of being in business, it was quite bold. I entered my first business award.
And what are some of the benefits about doing it? We've mentioned it's about helping people to build their profile and grow their business, but what are some other benefits? Why would someone want to do this?
I mean, for me, there's been lots of benefits. So when I did that first one 6 months in, it was the Queensland Small Business Champions Awards. I couldn't believe it. I won the Young Entrepreneur category. So here I was on stage. And then you've got this massive platform of people in a room of really like-minded people going, well, tell us about your business. And then, of course, straight after, they all come up and go, let's do business. Here's my card. Everyone from bank managers who want to help you to people who literally want to use your services and so on. With that particular awards, it was a few months later, but I got an email and they said, would you like to go on television? And that was off the back of that awards. So I went, sure. They came and filmed me for a day. And, next thing I know, I've got a piece on Channel 9 in the Sunday morning business section, which I believe Koshi has one now, but back then it wasn't called that. It was called Business Sense. That same piece went on to Qantas in-flight radio and to Vodafone. And, suddenly I actually forgot I'd filmed it. And it was a few months later when it must have aired, the phone started ringing hot. And I'm going, where did you hear about me? Which is always a good question to ask when the phone rings. And they said, your TV piece. And that really cranked my business up. It started getting the leads running. So that's a great benefit of, people getting the media coverage, getting known. Getting in front of judges, they can be really influential people. So being able to share with them your message. I've literally had judges lean over, and whether they're supposed to or not, give me their business cards and go, I want to invest or I want to help you, which is really cool. Or then they tell people about you if they're impressed about you. The networking in the room, you can try and do a sales call with someone for 5 minutes cold. But if you're sitting next to someone at a business awards dinner and having a few wines, they're pretty loose. Like they're going to open up and you can really cut some good business deals in that way. So I can tell you many other benefits, but one as a girl is that you get to dress up, and it's not a bad way to spend your marketing time and dollars, is it? Dress up and go to dinners.
Very cool. Now, I would like to talk about some case studies. You've mentioned yourself, and I'd love to talk later on about different objections that people have to this particular strategy as well. Because one of the things is I'm not ready yet, or my business isn't big enough. So you did your first award after just 6 months of being in business, which we're going to talk more about that later on. But apart from you as an example, how has this strategy helped other people that you know?
I think for some people, they work really hard in business. And so it's really important to take time out and reflect on it. You can stop and take time out and say, rewrite your business plan. You should have one to start with, or your strategic plan. But often filling in these business awards will make you have that reflection time. And as you write it, you'll realize, I'm doing really well there. Good on me. Pat yourself on the back. And in other areas, you'll go, I'm a bit weak there. I really should be putting things in place. So it starts giving you ideas of more things you could do as well. So that's another great reason to do them.
And do you have to win the award in order for you to get any benefit from it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, just being a finalist, you can absolutely work that, and you shouldn't expect media to just automatically come. Some business awards programs will have a whole PR engine behind them, and they'll write releases and you'll get interviews, and coverage is pretty easy. Others, you really should have your own release ready and send it out. So the moment you're a finalist, tell people. If you get pick up, great. If you don't, it's not a big deal. You gave it a shot. So yeah, I think being a finalist, you're still amongst all these amazing people. There's often pre-events to the actual big event, and again, you're networking. And I've met some of the most fantastic business people who remain, my absolute go-to people for whatever at business awards. And you've always got that sort of reference point with them.
And I'm guessing for a credibility point of view, many of the awards actually give you like a badge or a symbol that you can put on your website, or you can put in your marketing collateral as well. So I suppose in terms of helping people to have confidence in your product or service, to make sure that you establish your credibility, which is kind of really important for sales. And the other thing that I'm just thinking about as well is it's something that you can use for a long period of time, even though the award might be for just 12 months, you'll always be an award-winning entrepreneur or award-winning business owner, and you can use it in 5 or 10 years' time. Yep,
all of those things. You can use the award-winning tag, and it's a competitive landscape out there for any kind of business. So if you're looking for that little competitive edge, if shop X and your shop Y sells the same nuts and bolts in the same location at about the same price, what's your point of difference going to be? Well, business awards, the fact that you're the award-winning and they're not, that could be one thing. I do have comments myself. I put the awards in the email signature, and people kind of go, wow, you've done a lot of stuff, and it makes them more engaged, perhaps with other people that they're talking to about it. It can make a good impression if you're going to, it's a bit of a funny thing, putting them up in your office. It may or may not be your thing. I've definitely gone into clients that have literally got a hall of fame of all their awards, so that may or may not be your thing.
And if a new client's coming in, they can just gives them that trust to know I'm dealing with a reputable business.
Exactly, yeah. It definitely adds to your credibility, which everyone wants to know, like, and key trust you. So business awards can help build that trust for the potential clients you might be dealing with.
And I'm guessing the media is a big thing. I know you spoke about it before, but if you're a naturopath, let's just say, and they've got a media person has 2 different naturopaths to choose from in terms of who it gives a story, have being an award-winning business owner, I'm guessing that just tips the scales and makes you the person that's the obvious choice in terms of an interview.
Yeah, it does. And literally from the moment, and if this terrifies you, please don't be scared of it, the moment you step onto that podium and give your award-winning speech, all eyes are on you, and potentially there are people who are looking for brand ambassadors or people to feature in media or be the go-to expert about whatever it is. So you kind of want to do that stuff good, because those opportunities could keep coming. Yeah. All
right. Now, as people are watching this already, their minds are starting to race, and maybe even starting to think about possible kind of objections as well.
Yep.
Like, this is going to take a lot of time, or I'm not a good writer. People might
don't
be
want to
saying
be in the limelight,
things like, I don't want to be in the limelight.
Yep.
So what are some of those main objections, and what are your answers to some of those?
So one of the biggest ones is I haven't been in business long enough.
Yeah.
Well, look at me. I was 6 months in. And look, that was a pretty bold, crazy thing to do. But I just thought, what does it matter? I'll throw it in. If something happens, great. If it doesn't, I'm going to a nice dinner anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I won. And there are business awards that literally recognise emerging businesses. So you need to be sub 1 year in or 2 years. And after that, you can't even enter. There are literally other awards that you have to be 3 years and on. So just look at the criteria and work out whether that's the go for you.
It's going to take a lot of time.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of time is another common one. It depends what sort of person you are, right? So I'm a writer. Writing comes easy to me. But if you're on the math side of the brain, or you're a real technician, and you make the best pies, you're the best mechanic, whatever it is you do. If writing is not your thing, get someone else to do it. It's not your time, and outsource it basically, and plan it as well. So the moment you go, I'm going to commit to that, I'm going to plan, then put it in your diary of when you're going to work on it, and don't just think I'll do it at midnight the night before, because that would be a really bad idea, and you'll not be doing it as well as you could if you obviously revised it and threw it around a few people and so on. It's going to cost me too much money is another one if I'm going to outsource it, and people do like to know how much money is involved. You have to pay to go in these things. The answer to that one is some you do. There is an entry fee. So I guess you've got to work out, is this the right place for me to be or not? And others, there's absolutely no fee. So it literally is your time, unless you're paying for someone to do it for you. As to how much you'll pay, we have a pretty broad spectrum with the clients we work with. We say minimum 5 hours for a pretty basic campaign. So you're looking at about $500, but it could go right up to sort of 30 hours and maybe a $3,000 investment for some of your more chunky awards, which that's just what they take. There's pages and pages that you have to complete.
And I'm guessing people worry about they have to do this document that has to have all this beautiful graphic design and things like that. But a lot of them are online submissions now, right? Which is just a matter of writing the words and sticking it, into a web form. Yep.
So you absolutely need to study the whole thing and go, one, is this the right awards for me? Is this the right category? What's involved in this thing? Some of them require supporting documents, so you might need to supply just links, or you might need to upload media pieces you've had, or flyers, or evidence of your work, photos of you and your team.
What about financials? And I'm guessing some people may worry about that and sort of think, would these kind of end up in the wrong hands? Or maybe, look, I'm just getting my business off the ground. My financials are pretty, pretty ordinary right now. Do you have to supply those?
I do think, well, some you do, some you don't. Again, depends on the awards. They all really do vary a lot. I think the ones that actually ask for the financials to some degree are some of the credible ones, because you can have a great business, but I've seen a few instances where people win business awards and the very next year they're out of business, and you kind of go, wow, award winning, right? And they're not even around anymore. They're not very sustainable. But in terms of could they get into the wrong hands, what does that mean for me? There's a little bit of trust there. I think, again, the awards program would be not having a very good reputation if they were sharing that stuff out. There is a risk of that. And some of the awards, you can include financials without actually including the dollars. So you might talk about, I've had a 30% year-on-year growth. So that's not actually disclosing any dollars, but you're giving them evidence that, financially we're pretty sound and we're growing pretty quickly. Others will literally want the profit and loss and the whole caboodle, and some will even want the accountant to verify it. So there's a tip: you better have your financials up to date. If you're sort of sitting there going, I better get around to doing my last financial year, tax return, you might want to get that up to date if you're looking towards the business awards. But just on that some more, my own story is that I wasn't turning over a huge amount when I won a Telstra Businesswoman's Award for Queensland.
Because it's not the only determining factor, and sometimes it's actually not even that relevant, really. It's just supporting evidence, but it's not how they're making decisions in most cases. Is that right?
It's not the only thing they're looking at, not at all. And at that point in time for me, I was working from home. I had 5 people. I was working around 2 children, and I'm even happy to disclose that I was probably turning over around 350,000 or something like that. So I thought, it's not that big. I'm probably not going to win. But I actually won that, and I think I'm just trying to guess what the judges were thinking, but maybe they saw in me a vision, a clear path. There was growth. I was being quite innovative at the time with the use of cloud technology in 2010. We'd been fully cloud for 2 years at that point. So they looked at other things that they thought made me a good business person. And they like your story as well. What adversity have you overcome to get to where you are today? And I would just say to anyone who's thinking, I don't turn enough money, cut that out as an excuse right now.
It's really
just
relevant,
go for it anyway. Everyone is...
To continue enjoying this presentation, download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.